tongue, your eyes bright like the sun, or your frowning eyebrows. I do not fear your sharp, pinching teeth, your garland of intestines, your mane soaked with blood, or your high ridge-like ears, nor do I fear your tumultuous roaring, which makes elephants flee to distant places, or your nails, which are meant to kill your enemies. Jai Singh.
जय श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान की जय, श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय, श्री श्री गौरनिताई की जय, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल. Hare Krishna. Let's do the Mangalacharan. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivashadi Gaura Bhaktavranda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Kam karoti vachalam pangum langaya tankaram yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. We'll continue our discussion on the brihadbhagavatamrita. So just to give a recap, Narada Muni is in the search of a devotee who got maximum mercy from the Supreme Lord, and we see him going from one place to another, starting from Prayag to South India to Swargaloka to Satyaloka to Shivaloka, Sutala, and now is going to Kimpurusha, Varsha, which is part of Bhumandala, to see Hanuman. Because when he approached Prahlad Maharaj, who is his disciple, glorifying him of being the most fortunate devotee, Prahlad Maharaj, while he acknowledges Narada Muni's words that Lord Narasimhadev had indeed showered him with greatest fortune, he nevertheless diverts most part of that glorification towards Hanuman, stating that Hanuman was even more favored. And we saw how in Ramayana it's given, Hanuman was personally serving Lord Ramachandra for 11,000 years. And according to srimadbhagavatam, more than 13,000 years. So he had personally served, and Prahlad Maharaj says, in comparison to the amount of personal association which Hanumanji had with Lord Ram to serve him, Prahlad Maharaj had but very few minutes, less than an hour, because Narasimhadev was there until the duration of the whole killing, and then he offered prayers, and then Narasimhadev moves away from there. So Prahlad Maharaj says, what is this mercy which I received? This is so tiny compared to what Hanumanji received. And we saw Prahlad Maharaj is saying the amount of mercy which Supreme Lord gave, newer devotees like Hanuman, they received even more. So it goes to show how much Prahlad Maharaj was senior to Hanumanji. So this is, past time is happening. 11,000 years he had personally associated, according to Ramayana. So this is how Narada Muni now gets directed indirectly to go and meet Hanumanji, which was, did we cover till last week? 44 we finished. It was Hanuman who acted as his Lord's best carrier, his tail serving as a royal white umbrella, his broad back as comfortable seat for the Lord, and it was Hanuman who directed the project of bridging the ocean. So Hanuman, he is serving still Lord Ramachandra in so many ways. In last week we were discussing how in Navada Bhakti there are different devotees who epitomized different types of devotion, devotional service. Hanumanji Dasya, in perfect servitude, which is the mood with which we should be serving the Supreme Lord. Normally, I was giving example. You come to the temple room and you see some mats here. We think someone else is supposed to do. But we are supposed to do. Servant means, here we see. And today we'll see a verse that will tell you how many different ways Lord Hanuman or Hanumanji served Lord Ram. He served as it has his umbrella, flag, servant, advisor, counselor, as a general, so on and so forth. It is said that Lord Hanuman is so tall, even among those 10 to the power 65 Vanaras, okay, one followed by 65 zeros. That's how many Vanaras there were, monkeys, who were fighting alongside Lord Ram. For anyone to locate where Lord Ram is very easy, because Hanuman is very tall. If they see Lord Hanuman, they know that's where Lord Ram is. So it is said just the presence of Hanumanji itself is like a flag where the presence of the Supreme Lord is. I remember we went for Vrindavan. This is in 2016. We were doing Govardhan Parikram and we didn't realize it was actually Guru Purnima. Supposed to be one of the two occasions when in Govardhan and Vrindavan has maximum number of crowd. And Asim Prabhu took us, and we were a group of brahmacharis. So he showed us one place in Chakratirtha and we were taking darshan. Asim Prabhu thought we were following him and he left. And we got lost. Thankfully we had Eshwareshwar Prabhu with us. So when Asim Prabhu came to me and he told me one thing, Prabhu, one advice I'll give you, whenever you come to Vrindavan, please bring Eshwareshwar Prabhu with you. Wherever you are, we will still be able to locate you. So he said, we have no problem locating, no, take your time. So Hanuman was like that. He's so tall, his tail also would be so tall. He would do so many things with his tail. He builds a fort, umbrella, okay, protecting the Lord. He uses his tail to burn Lanka. It's given. Tail is also, Hanumanji is incarnation of Lord Shiva himself, and his tail, it's given, it's incarnation of Parvati ji. Because Lord Shiva is appearing as a Naishtik Brahmachari, Parvati is also Lord Shiva's eternal consort. So she appeared. So it looks like an ordinary tail, but it's not ordinary tail, it's a personality in itself. This is Durga Devi. So you know, Durga means fort. So Hanuman, he did so many things with his tail itself. So here we can see servant means one who understands the mood of the spiritual master. My Guru Maharaj says, once he actually noticed in Mayapur, when Prabhupada was there, and my Guru Maharaj says in two instances he noticed, once with Tamal Krishna Maharaj, how he serves Prabhupada, another time Shrutakirti Prabhu serving Srila Prabhupada. If Prabhupada is in the room, and if the room is warm, Prabhupada will just look at the fan, just once. And then immediately he saw, in different occasions, Shrutakirti Prabhu will immediately go and he'll turn on the fan. Or Tamal Krishna Maharaj also. Likewise, if the room is too windy, Prabhupada will just look at the window just once. That's it. Immediately the servant would go close. Another instance, it was getting cold. Prabhupada just looks at the fan and he just do. Immediately servant runs in to switch off the fan. Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj says, that's first class servant. One who understands the mood of the master and who fulfills the order of the master even without the master having to say a word. That's first class servant. Second class servant means somebody needs to be told to do. Once, then they will do. Third class servant means somebody has to be told repeatedly. Same thing over. Then I went, when I heard that in my Guru Maharaj's class, after the class, I once remember going close to him and I told, Guru Maharaj, please bless me so that from third class one day I'll become first class. Then my Guru Maharaj said, actually there is a fourth class also. And my Guru Maharaj said, like a dumb. No matter how many times you say, still the person may not be able to do. But our mood should be, we want to be first class servant of the Lord. Bhavantam evanucharan nirantara, prashanta nishesha manoratantara, kataika aikantika nitya kinkara, praharshishyami sanata jivitam. This is a verse from Shrotra Ratna, Prabhupada would quote often. This is the verse by Yamunacharya. Another verse of Yamunacharya, which Srila Prabhupada again quotes very often, is Yaddavadi mama cheta Krishna padaravinda navanava rasadamni udyatam antumasit. How the pleasure which one gets by performing devotional service to the Supreme Lord, it far outweighs the happiness which one gets from sexual pleasure. But in this particular verse, Bhavantam evanu charan nirantara, Yamunacharya, he says, "Oh my Lord, simply by doing your devotional service, all my material faults, material qualities will go away and my heart will be filled with bliss. When will I become your first class servant? When at every moment I would rejoice that I have such a befitting master." So this should be the mood of any devotee, that we are simply servants of the Supreme Lord and we simply have to do our bhakti in the best possible way. And if we do, then we can be convinced that Supreme Lord is pleased with us. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya aprasadan nagati kutopi. Simply by pleasing spiritual master, we can understand we are pleasing Guru, we are pleasing Krishna. If the spiritual master is displeased, we can understand that Krishna is displeased and we have to make some adjustment. Okay, so it works both ways. If the Guru is pleased, Krishna is pleased. If the Guru is displeased, Krishna is displeased. Therefore, dhyayans tuvam stasya sastri sandhyam vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. Therefore, let us remember the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada at least 3 times a day, and let us fulfill the instruction of Srila Prabhupada for his pleasure. Why? We have to keep remembering, if Prabhupada is pleased, Gopinath is pleased. If Prabhupada is displeased, Gopinath is displeased. That's all. It's very easy for us to understand that. Now, how do we know whether Prabhupada is pleased? If we take the instructions of Srila Prabhupada sincerely and we follow. If we follow that, then we can be convinced, yes, this is the best we can do, and we beg Prabhupada, Prabhupada, please accept my service. Then we can understand Krishna is pleased. Prabhupada in one place he says, Supreme Lord is also a Guru. Chaitya Guru, Prabhupada says. So Supreme Lord is seated inside our heart. So his name is Chaitya Guru. And the same Guru, when he manifests outside, Prabhupada says, that's your initiating Guru. So there is no difference. Whatever Krishna wants to tell us or is telling us inside, he will tell from outside. So that is Guru. And we'll see the manifestation of that description of Srila Prabhupada in Narada Muni, or Narada boy, when he was a young boy. When he meditates, at the peak of his meditation, he sees the Supreme Lord within his heart. And then suddenly the form inside his heart vanishes. Then again he tries to search, it's gone. Then he opens his eyes, same form that he saw inside, standing in front of him. Okay, so we have to take instructions of Srila Prabhupada very seriously. That's the only way for us to gain the favor. And here we see Hanumanji exemplifying in so many ways. Nobody gave him job description. These are the services you are supposed to do. Nobody even told him what he is supposed to do. He is his eternal servant and he just keeps on doing this as his life and soul. There is no other meaning for his existence. So this is Hanuman. He fulfilled the desires of Vibhishana. Now we may say, when we think about Kanishta, Madhyama and Uttama, Kanishta Adhikari means one who has good relationship with Krishna. Madhyama means one who has good relationship with Krishna as well as with the devotees, as well as superior, as well as brand new people. Ishware tad adineshu balisheshu dvishachucha. Prema maitri kripapeksha ya karoti samadhyama. They know how to deal with Supreme Lord, they know how to deal with peers, they know how to deal with people who are innocent, and they know how to avoid the envious as well. So, Madhyama, they are considered to be more superior than Kanishta, more superior than beginning level devotees or neophyte devotees. Uttama means one who is superlative. In their dealings with the Supreme Lord, dealings with the devotees, in fact, they don't even see distinction between devotees and non-devotees. That's the highest form. So here we can see he fulfilled the desires of Vibhishan. Hanuman not only fulfilled the desires of Supreme Lord, he is also fulfilling the desires of Vibhishan. When Hanuman asks Vibhishan, how are you feeling when he meets him in Sri Lanka? So Hanumanji meets Vibhishan when he goes to Lanka. At that time, Vibhishan says, my position is like that of a tongue, trying to escape being bitten by 2 rows of teeth. Why is he using that analogy? He says he is the only devotee there. Whole Rakshasa Sena only there around him. So how can he even openly chant Hare Krishna? He can't. So he's saying, this is my position. So from that position, he is desiring constant separation from the Supreme Lord. So then Hanumanji, he speaks about him to Lord Ram, and later on Hanumanji recommends when Vibhishan changes his party from Rakshasas when he comes to the Vanaras. At that time, most of the people were opposing. We should not let Vibhishan come because we can never put trust on a Rakshasa. He is already coming from one party. Modern day politicians will have very tough time, You know, like summer and winter changes. Matra Sparshastha Gontaya, they keep changing also parties so often, but here just once they were not ready to accept him. Okay, so he fulfilled the desires of Vibhishan. So Hanuman is dealing with the devotees also very nicely. He destroyed the military force of Rakshasas. And he had the special power to deliver the healing herb called Vishalyakarani. So that's the herb he brings from the Himalayas. He was the very life of his soldiers, always giving great pleasure to his divine Lord and the Lord's younger brother Lakshmana. It's given when Rama and Hanuman, when they met Sugriva. Sugriva didn't understand about the divine position of Rama and Lakshman. When Hanuman introduces Lord Ram as the son of Dashrath, prince of Ayodhya, Sugriva thought, all right, I will respect him. I am also a great king. He is also there. So he offered a seat to Lord Ram. But he didn't offer respect to Lakshman. Now, Lord Ram wasn't very pleased, but he is also not expressing his displeasure. But Hanuman, as the first class servant, he reads the expression of Lord Ram. Immediately he brings branches and he makes an even better seat than Lord Ram. For Lakshman, Lord Ram was very pleased. Now, because Sugriva didn't show proper respect to Lakshman, when Sugriva goes and challenges Vali, Lord Ram makes him to get beaten first time. Lord Ram gives a different reason. You both look the same. How am I supposed to distinguish? But actually, that's Lord Ram's sweet way of teaching Sugriva some lessons there. So he makes him to get beaten because you didn't offer seat to my brother, get beaten up. But here you can see he was the very life of his soldiers, always giving great pleasure to his divine Lord and the Lord's younger brother. And later on you will see Hanuman, he himself acted as a vehicle when Lakshman was fighting with Indrajit. And then later, Indrajit gets killed by Lakshman also. During the time, Hanumanji was actually carrying him on his back. So many chivalrous activities Hanumanji has done. Supremely intelligent and valorous. He brought victory for Lord Ramachandra. He added to the spotless fame of his Lord who killed the king of the Rakshasas. Very, very important. Prabhupada says, now I have made ISKCON, I have given you the framework. At least maintain it. What does it mean? At least maintain it. Don't bring any bad name to it. Don't reduce it. Prabhupada says in one place. Whatever activities Prabhupada has established, even if you are not able to expand, at least maintain it. But here you say, Hanuman, supremely intelligent, he added to the spotless fame. He is not only maintaining the fame, but he is enhancing the fame. Like how Srila Prabhupada enhanced the fame of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Not many people know. Now the whole world knows about the glory of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. How Prabhupada is expanding the fame of Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now whole world knows about Krishna, Hare Krishnas. So you can see each one of these qualities, how he is not just physically serving. We have the tendency to be very dutiful when our spiritual masters are around, our superiors are around. But when nobody is around, how are we behaving? How are we dealing with each other? Here we can see how Hanumanji is dealing with everyone. So, superlative devotee. It was Hanuman who encouraged Mother Sita. Sita Pramodanaha, it's given. This is one name of Hanuman. Literally translates to the encourager of Goddess Sita. She is goddess of fortune. But look at the role which Hanuman is taking. He is encouraging Mother Sita. We touched upon this last week. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also takes the position. He says, I'm just a lone gardener. I have so many fruits of Krishna Prema. Alone, how many can I actually distribute? And then the devotees, Haridas Thakur, Nityananda Prabhu, who is Supreme Lord himself, they go and pacify the Lord. Don't worry, Lord, we will do. So every single day they would go door to door, distributing the mercy. And then in the evening, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would ask the report. So what did you do? What is your experience? Tell me. It was in one such conversation, Haridas Thakur tells about Jagai Madai. Today my Lord, today me and Nitai, we both came across these two drunkards. And they started chasing after us. Even though I was very scared, I was not even wanting to go close, this Avaduta forced me to go closer. And we escaped that we were this close, my Lord, he tells. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiles and he says, simply by the desire of Lord Nityananda, you take it that they are already liberated. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately liberates them simply by saying it. And then what happens after that is just a detail. So we have to understand that the mood of the Lord here is, He is Supreme Lord, but Prabhupada says there are people who worship Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Enjoyer. Prabhupada says that's rasabas, very wrong. Even though yes, he is Krishna himself, but we are supposed to assist him in his mood as devotee. So Prabhupada says there are people who come under one of those Aula Baula you will come across, 13 Apasampradaya. And that was there prominent even during Bhakti Vinod Thakur's times. So you can imagine how quickly irreligion can actually seep in. So Prabhupada there, he warns that we shouldn't worship the Lord based on our liking. We should worship the Lord based on his liking. His liking is, I am the supreme, or I am the devotee of the Lord. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Mama janmani janmaneshware bhavatad bhakti rahitu kitavi. I just want to be your servant life after life, my Lord. This is all he is desiring. And as devotees, it's our duty to assist him in that. And as devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's important for us to understand the mood of the Lord and simply to follow his instruction. That's all we need to do. If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he explains, in order to go to Goloka Vrindavan, we should be practicing Raganuga Bhakti. Now, if we ask ourselves sincerely, are we practicing Raganuga Bhakti? We are not. What are we practicing? Sadhana Bhakti, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti specifically. If you want to know more, you can read Nectar of Devotion, Eastern Wave, the very first section, chapter 2 to chapter 15. It discusses about Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, 16 and 17, or 17 and 18, sorry, 2 to 16 is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, 17 and 18 Bhava Bhakti, and 19 is Prema Bhakti. But 2 to 16 is of importance for us, because there Prabhupada introduces two types of Sadhana Bhakti. One is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and the second one is Raganuga Bhakti. Prabhupada says. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he explains in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in order to go to Goloka Vrindavan, one should be practicing Raganuga Bhakti. If we practice only Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, then he says, you will go to only Vaikunta. When I say only, it's considered, it's not like, I remember I was in Padayatra, and service which I was given was to dress Gauranitai, big Nim deities, very beautiful deities. And I was new. So one senior brahmachari was training me. So as we were training, he was training me. I asked, Prabhuji, I have one question, can I ask? Then he said, yes. And night time we were dressing rather. It's covered in a bullock. Then I asked, Prabhuji, we are actually worshipping Vishnu, because on the way of Padayatra we came across so many Vishnu temples. We are worshipping, but actually we want to go only to Krishna only, to Goloka Vrindavan only. So, aren't we cheating the Lord? We go, in one sense, it feels like that, right? You go to one Lord and you say, generally, materially, this is what you would think. Are you undermining my position if somebody comes and tells you? I feel like that. Then he told me, okay, we have this curtain now, nobody can see us. And we are with the Lords. I said, yes, Prabhuji, we were still. Then he told me, if you open this veil slightly, and if you see the vehicle from Vaikunta waiting just outside, what will you do? Will you say no? I said, no. I'll even catch hold of the footboard and I'll go. Then he looked at me and he said, see, this is our level. Keep quiet and just do dressing. You're talking all big things, but then Vaikunta Viman, if it comes, will you say no? I said no. I will at least catch hold of the footboard and I'll go. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, if you do Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, you will go to Vaikunta. But if you are Krishna's devotee, then you have to do Raganuga Bhakti to go to Golok Vrindavan. If you are Krishna's devotee and you do Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, you will still go to Vaikunta. Which is not bad, it's just that it's not what you desired. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, when Krishna came 5,000 years ago, he gave all the instructions through Bhagavad Gita, srimadbhagavatam, and then everyone were following rules and regulations sincerely. And then Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who is Kasturi Manjari in Golok Vrindavan, he says, but then Krishna says everyone practicing Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and they are going to Vaikunta. And then Krishna was thinking, hang on, is this why I came down? I want everyone to come to me, but everyone was going to Vaikunta. So he says, thinking like this, Krishna thought, I need to go down and I have to teach them specifically the path of Vrajagopis. Thinking this way, Supreme Lord desired to descend down as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is how he writes. Now question to you. Okay, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come. Has Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti or Raganuga Bhakti? Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti only. Chant 16 rounds a day. Follow 4 regulative principles. Vairagya Vidya, Nija bhakti-yoga, Sikshartam Eka Purusha Purana, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Shariradari, Kripambudhirastvam Aham Prapadye. He comes to teach us Vairagya Vidya only. In fact, it's given one of the most common trait means like a quality, attribute of Gaura Bhaktas or the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is they'll be detached. That's why it's called Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga. This is the true essence of Bhakti Yoga. Vairagya here doesn't mean dry renunciation. Vairagya here refers to renunciation of all material desires. And to do only things which are going to please Radha Gopinath. That's Vairagya Vidya in its true essence. Just like liberation. For people who are jnanis, liberation means to go away from the painful situation of this material world. But for devotees, liberation means muktir hitva anyata rupam swarupena vyavasthiti, to go back to the spiritual world and to be engaged in one's original swarupa. in Golaka Vrindavan. That's the real mukti. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, what does he teach us? He teaches us Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti only. However, when we do Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti to worship Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will take our Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, and then when he offers to Krishna, that's where magic happens. So whatever Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti we do, it goes to Krishna as Raganuga Bhakti. So we don't need to do anything extra. We won't even come to comprehend what Srila Prabhupada has given, even after we die. So we don't need to do anything. Simply we need to follow the rules and regulations and worship Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will take whatever bhakti we offer and he will offer that as Raganuga Bhakti of the topmost quality to Krishna. If you see Prabhupada, now comes the fundamental question. What is Raganuga Bhakti? Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti means we practice rules and regulations which any Vaishnava would do, irrespective of whether they worship Krishna, Vishnu, Rama, Narsingha, Varaha, everyone does it. And if you read Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami, he gives specifically 64 items of devotional service. So he'll first list that in chapter 6, and from 7 to 12, 6 chapters, he'll elaborate on all those 64. In fact, that forms the major chunk of Nectar of Devotion that's covered under Bhakti Shastri. How to practice Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Because we would think we have 24 hours a day, 2 hours we take for chanting, hopefully. Sometimes it goes too less, sometimes it goes too long also. The faster you try to finish, longer it gets. Have you got that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. What? So 2 hours we chant, and it's not like for remaining 22 hours we have to keep remembering about, no meat eating, no intoxication, no meat eating. How many times do we remember? We don't even have to remember now. Okay, it's part of our value system. What are we going to do in the remaining 22 hours? We have that question, right? How to engage the remaining 22 hours in a day? Rupa Goswami gives us 64 options. He says, okay, choose. Prabhupada squeezed so many of them just in morning program itself. You come for Mangalarati, you attend Tulsi Arati, you attend Guru Puja. Each one comes under Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti or Raganuga Bhakti. Okay, I'll go back to the fundamental question. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti means we follow the rules and regulations. Raganuga Bhakti means we worship and we follow in the footsteps of Ragatmika Bhaktas, of eternal associates of the Lord. Okay, devotees who are always with the Lord, Nitya Siddha devotees who never leave the company of the Lord. All of us fall in that category of people who have already left. Have no doubt about it. If you are in material world, that means we are already away. We are all the rebelling souls. Krishna consciousness movement is the movement of rebels. All of us. We'll recruit more rebels. And we'll keep rebelling inside also. It's all one big family. So, Ragatmika Bhaktas means Yashoda Marani, Ragatmika Bhakta. Gopis, Ragatmika Bhaktas. Arjuna, Ragatmika Bhakta. Madhumangal, Lalita, Vishaka. Whenever we say Madhumangal, everyone laughs. His humor is like that. Can you imagine how much Krishna must be loving him? So, you worship any eternal associate of the Lord, then that becomes, you follow in their footsteps. Not only worshipping, but following their instructions and doing what they are doing or asking us to do. That is Raga Anuga Bhakti. In other, Anuga means to follow, Anu means to follow. Ragatmika Bhaktas are eternal associates. If we follow in their footsteps, then we are called Raga Anuga Bhaktas. Okay, if we follow Prabhupada, we are called Prabhupada Anugas. We follow Rupa Goswami, Prabhupada says, in ISKCON devotees are all Rupa Anugas. So here Ragatmika Bhaktas means eternal associates of the Lord. If we follow in the footsteps of Raga Atmika Bhaktas, then we are called Raga Anuga Bhaktas. And our bhakti is called Raga Anuga Bhakti. But how do we execute that bhakti? We execute Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti following in the footsteps of Ragatmika Bhaktas, then it automatically becomes Raga Anuga Bhakti. Now, do we worship any eternal associates of the Lord? Example? Guru Puja. Even though it looks very simple, it's Raga Anuga Bhakti. Why? Prabhupada, he is eternal associate of Krishna and we are worshipping Prabhupada. Make no mistake. Tulasi Maharani, Tulasi Arati, make no mistake. Mangalarati, make no mistake. Anything that we do, this is the genius of Prabhupada. Even without us realizing, Prabhupada has given bhakti of the topmost order. And best thing is, you don't need to do anything extra. But all of this is possible only by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's why worshipping Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not just, it's just a nice to have. It's mandatory, it's indispensable. Without that, going to Goloka Vrindavan is practically impossible. Katanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram shukaram bhavet vishmrite viparitam syat Sri Chaitanyam namamitam. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, especially in Kali Yuga, if you remember somehow or other the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even the most difficult things become very easy. However, if we forget the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the opposite will happen, which is even the most easiest things will become very difficult. So we should always remember Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. And they have specifically manifested to give us that mercy, and they have given us instruction. All we have to do is Bharata Bhumite Hoela Manushya Janmayar Janma Shartaka Kari Kara Paraupakar. We make our life perfect, and then whatever little way we can, we should try to give this bhakti to others. We should try to make other people's life also happy. Because we are enjoying, then enjoy. Make other people also enjoy. You see the quality of Hanumanji here, coming back. His service to the Supreme Lord, which was done so many hundreds of thousands of years ago. Simply hearing it, it's rejuvenating us. Some places you will see Hanuman temple, Sanjeev Hanuman, they'll put it. Because simply hearing Hanumanji's glories rejuvenates one's enthusiasm. Have you got that experience? You watch, you'll get goosebumps. Even a cartoon movie, That's how powerful it is. If somebody reads about our activities, they lose their enthusiasm. But look at what Hanuman has done. Anything you think, even a simple form, one hill, one hand holding, you get goosebumps. Can you imagine the potency of his service? Lord Ram himself says at one point, when the fight is going on between him and Ravan, at one point Lord Ram twangs his bow and he says, everyone, just take your seat and watch. I will actually fight with Ravan in such a way, to such an extent that simply by remembering this fight, one will get liberated. Can you imagine? How can two people fight and looking at it, you will get liberated? Inconceivable. But that's what the quality of Hanumanji's service to the Supreme Lord is. Simply hearing it rejuvenates one's bhakti. Otherwise, bhakti is already Prabhu, sleeping. Okay, Jai Hanuman and Jnana Guna Sagara. You feel like, yes. You feel as if you are also flying with Hanuman. Supremely intelligent and valorous, he brought victory for Lord Ramachandra. He added to the spotless fame. May that be our goal. That we expand the glories of Srila Prabhupada. We expand the glories of Sri Radha Gopinath, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani, Gaur Nitai. We should expand. It was Hanuman who encouraged Mother Sita. Sita Pramodanaha. And by the Lord's order, this Hanuman, the one true recipient of his master's favor, still lives in this world, though unable to bear separation from the Lord. Lord Ramachandra made Hanuman to stay here to help other fallen conditioned souls to be liberated. So he's still staying as a Chiranjeevi in Kimpurusha Varsha. And he is worshipping his Lord there in the form of deity. He keeps himself alive by constantly hearing the glories of Lord Ram, staying by the side of the Lord's deity. He is present even today. Sometimes we have that question, right? When we were discussing Vedic cosmology about different varshas, how different personalities are being Hari Varsha, Prahlad Maharaj actually worships. In some instances, they are personally present. Like for example, if you take Bharata Varsha, who's the devotee who is leading the worship of the Lord in Bharata Varsha? Any guess? We have been discussing about him since the first class of this series. Narada Muni. So in Bharata Varsha, Narada Muni is the devotee leader for the entire Bharata Varsha, not just Bharata Kanda. Entire Bharata Varsha. And who is the presiding deity of Bharata Varsha? We recite, it's two devotees, or rather two lords, we recite their names before starting every Bhagavatam class. What is the prayer we recite before Bhagavatam class? Narayanam. Who knows that verse? So who are we offering our first prayers to? Narayana Rishi. Narayanam Namaskritya Nara. Narayanam Nara. Many times we recite prayers without knowing the meaning. Prabhupada isn't very impressed with that. Prabhupada visits one Gurukul and he asks to meet with the kids, and the teachers actually get the kids to recite about 10 Bhagavad Gita verses. Prabhupada sits, hears, and he says, okay. Then Prabhupada says one verse and he says, okay, tell the meaning. Then nobody knows the meaning. Then Prabhupada looks at the teachers and he says, what's the use? Okay, so when we recite every prayer, what's the prayer we offer for having prasad? Before having prasad? Govinde Namo Brahmani Vaishnave. What's the meaning? Mahaprasade Govinde Namo Brahmani Vaishnave. 5 people we are saying. Mahaprasade Govinde Namo Brahmani Vaishnave Swalpa Punyavatam Rajan Vishwasho Naiva Jayate. Which means, if one doesn't have faith in these 5 personalities, Mahaprasade Govinda, Supreme Lord, first Mahaprasad, no problem. It comes under one of the 64 items of devotional service, by the way. The service which we all love the most. There's credit to it. You can read chapter 6, and there is a listing. First he gives the 10 items of pravriti, things we are supposed to do. Sadhu Marga, Anugavanam, taking shelter of Guru, taking Diksha, they are like 10 items. Then he talks about 10 nivriti, 10 items you are not supposed to do. And then he gives 44 extra items. In the 44 extra items, there is, celebrating Janmashtami festival coming soon. It's there. In the 10 items which are pravriti, following Ekadashi is there. Tulasi worship, it's there in 44 items you will come across. Mahaprasad, honoring, it's there. I was like, thank you, there is hope. So, when the prayer that we recite, Mahaprasade Govinde, Namo Brahmani Vaishnave Swalpa Punyam. If one is practicing bhakti, Vishwasho na eva jayate. But if they don't have faith in these 5, then these 5 is Mahaprasad, Govinda, Supreme Lord, Nama, holy name of the Lord, Brahmana, Vaishnava. If one is saying, I am practicing bhakti, but without worshipping these 5, without putting faith, then what do they get? Swalpa Punyavatam Rajan. They get only very little benefit. That's what the prayer says. We are reciting, sometimes you recite, you go in front of Gopinath and you recite Gopinath, you will be thinking, I also know the verse. In fact, I spoke them. Do you mean it? Sorry, my Lord. Like, even simple, Govinda Madi Purusham, when we sing, every single verse we are saying, Tammaham Bhajami, my Lord, I am paying. Are we conscious when we are singing? We are singing loud also. Ananda, Chinmaya, Sadhu, We need to be conscious. In fact, the effectiveness of our prayer, effectiveness of our bhakti will be strongly pronounced by our consciousness. In other words, same activity, if you do, being fully conscious of what you are doing, you will get maximum benefit. Same activity, if you do mechanically, you will get less benefit only. Like Mahaprasad. If somebody eats without realizing it's Mahaprasad, one thing guarantee. What is it? They'll get human form of life. Prabhupada says. In the next life. Whether they realize it or not. Bird will eat, animal will eat, dog eats, everyone will get human form of life. Bare minimum. If somebody actually eats this, thinking, oh, food is tasting good. That much consciousness is enough. Then in the next life, they'll get human form of life and they will get a position wherein they can practice bhakti. Even with the slight appreciation that it is tasty, that much. But if someone fully realizes this is coming from the Supreme Lord Himself with full consciousness, Prabhupada says simply eating one can go back to Godhead. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, they would eat and they'll go to ecstasy. Do we go to ecstasy? No. One bite they'll eat and they can't stop chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, they'll go to ecstasy. And then they'll come and continue to eat. Once Prabhupada visits one temple in US, devotees say, Prabhupada, there is one boy who joined. Then Prabhupada says, okay, what service is he doing? That's the problem, Prabhupada. He doesn't do any service. All he wants to do is just eat Mahaprasad. But you look at the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is saying, that's all right. He can eat. Just ask him to chant Hare Krishna between bites. That's all. Can you see how liberal Prabhupada is? Okay, so not to be imitated. Prabhupada told it to that person only, not to us. So some special instructions, some places you will see, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He goes to South Indian tour, there he sees one devotee who takes so much pleasure just reciting Bhagavatam, day in and day out. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu calls him Bhagavatam Acharya. And for everyone, Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Kirtaniya Sadahari. To that particular person alone, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, okay, only sadhana you have to do is keep on reciting Bhagavatam, that's it. You don't even need to sit and chant extra japa rounds, nothing. Just to keep on reciting. Some special instructions, Krishna has given some special instruction, Prabhupada has also given like that. So when we do any activity, let's be very conscious. When we come to the temple room, let's be very conscious. This is the place where Supreme Lord and His eternal consort, they are here. If you see a mat around, pick it up, put it. If you see rubbish, pick it up, put it. Educate other people. If somebody drops rubbish, just tell them. When somebody makes noise, tell them, no, this is a place where Supreme Lord is there. This is not the place where you practice mridanga. Not when the Lord is sleeping, even when He is awake. You don't bang here. So, basic etiquette, we need to be very, very mindful, very conscious. To the extent that we appreciate the presence of the Lord, to that extent, next time you come to the temple, you will see reciprocation. You will feel the transformation. You will feel the impact of it. To the extent that we take it cheaply, to that extent, yetamam prapadyante. The temple will also reciprocate with you without giving much experience, because you will feel. Have you seen cricketers losing form? They hit a rough patch, same bat, same ball, same bowler, same pitch, but they can't score. One day they'll score century, another, they'll have string of ducks. What happened? Empowerment is taken out by the Supreme Lord. So here, to the extent that we are conscious, when we take Charanamrita, there is prayers there. Akala mrityoranam sarva papa pranashanam Vishnu padadakam pitva shirashadaramyaham. If you take Charanamrita, recite that prayer, there is translation also. So many times, we just keep going. Consciously we need to do. Akala mrityoranam sarva papa pranashanam means whoever takes even a few drops of Charanamrita, they will not get untimely death. You won't meet with an accident and die. Even if it won't be akala. It's not a flaw, it's a feature. Krishna has made you die like that so you can remember Him better. Understand? You won't get akala mrityu. Akala mrityu here doesn't mean I would be surrounded with only devotees. Maybe, may not be. But what Krishna guarantees is, Akala Mrityu here refers to that you will live through your life. It won't be an untimely death. You will quit your body in favorable situation. Which is better for you? To quit your body when you are alone, or quit your body in the presence of one devotee who you have lifelong enmity? Do I have a choice? You know. You understand? Krishna knows. Krishna is very personal. Akala Mrityuharanam Sarva Papa Pranashanam. It kills. One of Krishna's name is Ripugna, one who kills all your sins. So these two things you get. So this is one verse that says. But devotees, you may say, they are not so much interested in Akala Mrityu. Fine. There is another verse also. That's why we put Sri Radha Krishna Padodakam Prema Bhakti Dammuda Bhakti Bharena Vaipitva Shirashadaram Yaham. This water that has bathed, what you have in Charnamrit, it's the same water, same Charnamrit, what you get during the festival time also. But this is even more special in that sense, because this has, normally in a festival you will see either Gaurnitai bathing, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani bathing, or Radha Gopinath bathing. This is the bathing water of all the three. What you have here, it's a mix of everyone. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra's Charnamrit is there, Gaurnita's Charnamrit is there, Radha Gopinath's Charnamrit is there. For how many of you this information is news? You just learnt it today. Yeah. We need to be conscious what we are doing. Okay, you get all three mercy. It's like attending Gaura Purnima, Nityananda Tridasi, you know. Janmashtami, Radhashtami, Snana Yatra, you name it. Everything together. This is Charnamrita. So you do. We need to do simple things only, but consciously. Next time you come for Mangalarati. Next time you do Tulasi Arati. Next time you come in front of Prabhupada and you bow down. Bowing down in front of Prabhupada comes under Vaidi or Raganuga. Raganuga Bhakti. Make no mistake. Okay, once you learn the principle, figuring out details, you will do by yourself. Okay, Shastras will teach us the principles. Application, you take it from there. Understand? So it's very important that we do everything consciously. If we do it like that, then Krishna consciousness will be very exciting. Otherwise, very boring. What did you do now? Sometimes you offer obeisances, it's Ashtanga Namaskar. Ashtanga, 8 part of your body needs to be there. One part of that is your mind, which is the difficult problem. You know? Everything else will be doing. And then you bow down and you stand up. Sometimes you are doing it so unconsciously, you get puzzled. Did I bow down or not? How many of you have that experience? I once saw one devotee stood up, did it, and then he stood up again, he did it. I said, like, Prabhu, you are doing Dandavats Namaskar. No, Prabhuji, I forgot, whether I did it first time. Because you do it like a flash. What did you do now? So we need to be very, very conscious. What are the 5 personalities? We need to have faith and we need to worship. What's the prayer that we actually say before honoring Mahaprasad? What are the 5 personalities that are listed in that prayer? Mahaprasad, yes, good. Govinda, Supreme Lord, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. Holy name of the Lord, Nama, Brahmana, and Vaishnava. Okay, we need to worship all the 5 and we need to have full faith in worshipping them, in taking their mercy. If we don't have it, then we get only Swalpa Punyavatam Rajan. You get only very little benefit. But if you have full faith in that, you will get maximum benefit. Converse is also true. He keeps himself alive by constantly hearing the glories of Lord Rama, staying by the side of the Lord's deity. He is present even today with the same splendor as always. My dear spiritual master, who is saying this? Prahlad Maharaj is telling this to Narada Muni. My dear spiritual master, Hanuman's greatness is well known from scriptural statements like the chief of the monkeys became perfect by acting as Lord's servant. So this is the verse we were discussing last week. Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshit Abhavat Vayashaki Kirtane Prahlada Smarane Tadangri Bhajane Lakshmi Prutu Pujane Akrurastobi Vandane Kapipatir Dasyata Sakya Arjuna. It's given Kapipatir Dasya. His servitude is proof of the Lord's mercy. Although Hanuman obtained from the son of Dasharath the boon of liberation, without striving for it. He never wanted to accept liberation without the opportunity to serve. To that Hanuman, I offer my obeisances. You certainly know glories of his that I haven't mentioned. Why not go to Kimpurusha Varsha and see him yourself and be enlivened? So this is what Prahlad Maharaj is suggesting to Narada Muni. So these are some of the glories, my dear spiritual master, of Hanuman. Why don't you go to Kimpurusha Varsha and see for yourself? Sri Parikshit said, "Oh dear mother," who is the mother of Parikshit Maharaj? Uttara. The sage Narada then jumped up from his seat and flew through the sky to Kimpurusha Varsha. So he is in Sutala planet, below, Atala, Vitala, Sutala. 3 planets below. From here he is jumping and going to Kimpurusha. All the while repeating, how wonderful, how wonderful. There in Kimpurusha Varsha, Narada saw Hanuman absorbed in worshipping Lord Ramachandra's lotus feet with varied items from the forest, as if serving the Lord personally, as before. Listening to the nectarian Ramayana recited by the Gandharvas and other celestial singers, Hanumanji himself is a great singer. Hanuman was in ecstasy, his limbs trembled, tears poured from his eyes, and the hair on his body stood on end. He glorified the Lord with various prayers in prose and verse, most excellent compositions of his own. He also recited prayers composed by others, and he repeatedly offered prostrated obeisances. Narada cried out in joy, "Glories to you, Sri Raghunatha, to the beloved of Sri Janaki, all glories. Glories to the elder brother of Sri Lakshmana." Delighted to hear glorified the names of the Lord he worshipped, Hanuman jumped from where he stood and caught hold of Narada by his neck. They have their own sweet dealings between them. Standing in the sky, Narada was overjoyed. With his feet danced, and with his hands he wiped the flood of loving tears from the eyes of the Lord of the monkeys. Sharing Hanuman's unique mood of loving ecstasy, Narada spoke in a loud voice. Sri Narada said, "O blessed one, truly you are the dearest devotee of the Supreme Lord. Today, just by seeing you, I too have become dear to the Lord." Sri Parikshit said, "In the blink of an eye, Hanuman became sober and bowed down to show respect to the sage among the demigods. Hanuman greeted him with reverence and brought him to the temple of Lord Ramachandra, the hero of the Raghus, so that Narada could offer obeisances." So Narada Muni is jumping from Sutala, coming to Kimpurusha Varsha, and as he is glorifying, Hanumanji also jumps up in the sky, catches him by his neck. And then his tears of ecstasy is there. Narada Muni is wiping his tears, and Hanumanji is bringing him down, and now bowing at his lotus feet. Narada paid respects to the Lord in Hanuman's temple, and Hanuman carefully arranged for Narada to be seated. Then Hanumanji is bringing to the temple of Lord Ramachandra in Kimpurusha Varsha, and then he is offering him a proper seat of respect. Narada felt he has now obtained an amazing treasure born from pure love for the Lord. He picked up his veena and spoke. Sri Narada said, "Yes, you are the greatest recipient of the mercy of Supreme Lord. No one can compare to you. You are always immersed in an ocean of ecstatic worship of the Lord, enjoying it as newer and newer at every moment." Very important. As I said, touched on this point earlier, Bhakti Navanava Rasadamni Udyatamantumasit. Every single moment you will get newer and newer and newer joy. If Bhakti starts to feel a little dry, if Bhakti starts to become a little ordinary, like the experience becomes a little hackneyed, then we can take it that we have committed some offense. Could be one of the 4 different offenses. What are the different types of offense? Aparadh? Name a few. Come on, it's very close to our heart. What are the aparadhs we can do, possibly? What are the different types of aparadh? Nama aparadh, yes. Seva aparadh, yes. Vaishnava aparadh, very close to our heart, yes. Dhamma aparadh. Okay, offending. Dhamma aparadh, we always think what? Vrindavan Dham, correct? Not Sydney Dham. Not Sydney Temple, correct? Some Vrindavan Dham. Mayapur Dham. Not the temple room. Correct? No, this is the Dham Aparadh. You come here, you put rubbish, Dhammaparad. You come here, you see match spoon here, there, you don't collect it and put Dhammaparad. How can you let it happen? So we need to do, we talk loudly in front of the Lord, Dhammaparad. When somebody is doing deity service, but not doing the service properly, that is Seva Parad. That's why I'm saying, Bhakti, matter of consciousness. We become critical of devotees. Vaishnava Parad. Even in the absence of devotees, you be critical of someone. Vaishnava Parad. You don't take care of the temple. Temple means the whole of 180 Falcon Street, not just the temple room, restaurant area. You serve prasad, something spills, you don't even clean up. You take prasad, you don't even manage to wash the plate. It's not mine, it's just my kids. Or it's not mine, it's just my friends. But somebody has to take responsibility. So we need to. So the more we become conscious, the more we take that responsibility. Yes, this is Dhamma. This is Radha Krishna. This is their seva. The more conscious we are, the more properly we actually do the service, the more you will see the Dham reciprocating with us. The more we neglect, the more we do it with disdain or being indifferent, getting used to it, the more we will actually lose on the mercy, the more bhakti will become dry. Surprise, surprise. It's the same holy name. One day you will pick up, you will feel sleepy. One day you will pick up and you will think, what is this? Same holy name. Sometimes you will make the best arrangement. I will sleep, I will wake up on time, everything will happen. You will still chant in the morning, but you will never feel like, what did I do now? I didn't chant properly. It won't go in. Heart will get very, very hard. It won't penetrate. And that's a problem. And these are all symptoms that we are doing one of the 4 different types of aparadh. So Dhamma aparadh, we have to be very, very careful. Don't leave rubbish in the temple premises anywhere. If you eat your prasad, wash your plates properly. If you are serving from a bucket is finished, don't leave the bucket to just be left out and dry. Take it to the kitchen. The more we take ownership of this temple, the more we are doing Dham Seva. Otherwise, general tendency is Dham Seva means everyone is thinking going to Vrindavan and serving the cows there. Correct? How many of you think, yeah, this is news to me? Happens. Nobody thinks this is Dham. Why is it so? Radha Gopinath is here, Prabhupada is here. How can it not be a Dham? Yesterday we had a very productive pre-DM meeting with the North Sydney Council. And we were telling them about the significance. They were appreciating it so much. So by Gopinath's mercy, looks like we may get a dome. They were very welcoming the idea. So it's a holy place, just a matter of consciousness. But then, it's a collective responsibility. Everyone needs to come together and everyone needs to do. The more we all collectively come and take responsibility, the more the service becomes very pleasurable for Sri Radha Gopinath. The more we mechanically do, forget about giving pleasure to Radha Gopinath. You yourself will feel dry. One quote I actually read that says, everything in this world is temporary. At the time of death, even the body will give up on you. Body will also reject you. Hey, you are also going. Something, it's very close to us, very dear to us. We hold it. We take care of it, massage it. How much we have taken care. Very ungratefully, body is like, yeah, I'm going. I'm out of here. Actually, you are out of here. Kicks us out. So we have to be very, very mindful. Sri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai. They are our eternal life and soul. Anything we do should be for their pleasure. Anything we do should be for bringing happiness for them. So we hear all these points and then what we do? We leave the mats and go. Conscious, be conscious. Every single step we have to be conscious. Okay, when we practice bhakti, our bhakti, best is it should inspire others. Worst is at least it should not disturb others. If it inspires others, we become the dearest servant of Krishna. Nacha tasman manusheshu kaschin me priya kritamaha bhavita nacha me tasmad anya priyatara bhuvi. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there be one more dear. Krishna is saying, be it now or in future, nobody is dear to him as much as one who is sharing this message with others. On the other hand, if we do bhakti neglectfully, if we do bhakti in a very ordinary way, then bhakti itself will start to be dry. We'll spend our whole life just to find our feet. That life is called, Prabhupada says, a life of a kripana. We were discussing that verse of Prahlad Maharaj where he says, Prayena deva muniya svavamukti kama. Maunam charanti vijane na pararthanishta. 2 times he is condemning. Prahlad Maharaj knows rules of Sanskrit grammar. He is saying it 2 times because it's so condemnable. If somebody takes something so much from Prabhupada, they feel so benefited. And all Prabhupada is saying is just to give it to others. And we say, no, I'm very fallen. That's cheating ourselves. Then the greatest pleasure won't actually come to us. Tamal Krishna Maharaj says, Prabhupada gives his blessings to anyone who shares this message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhupada gives his best blessings. And in the famous letter, when Prabhupada inspired others to do book distribution, Prabhupada says, Krishna will bless you 1,000,000 times over. I don't know if you have come across this. This is one of the first letters. Prabhupada has written more than 600, 800 letters about book distribution alone, encouraging devotees. One of the first letters he writes, it's in Leelamrita itself. Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. So that's one thing I was requesting Adipurush Prabhu to start giving class on Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. Simply hearing about Prabhupada, it will make us more conscious of Krishna. So the more we share this message with others, more we give Krishna consciousness to others, the more we will also be benefited. The more we will be rejuvenated. The more our life will be very exciting. But the more we think about taking care of just ourselves, more dry it will become. Because we will think, Shastras is saying, we will get so much ecstasy, I'm not even getting a glimpse. But if we do service, even if you miss out a little bit ecstasy in your chanting, you will get in service. How many of you feel getting bliss in service is more easier? Krishna is very merciful. Unlimited ways Krishna is giving us. Then that gives us hope. Hey, actually there is something in there. In book distribution, Prabhupada says, if you distribute a book, you will feel a certain joy that comes to you. And I've been part of this yatra for 18 years now, and I can tell you, I've done a range of services. Book distribution, when you distribute a book to others, there is a very special joy that comes. And I've always wondered why. And Prabhupada, his disciple, she is actually quoting Radha Kunda Dasi Mataji. She is saying, there is a quote of Prabhupada, I think in a morning walk, where Prabhupada is saying, every time you give a book, and if the person takes the book, at that time, who comes and embraces us? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is why that joy is there. Very special joy. And Prabhupada specifically reserved that blessing for book distributors. And you can stand in the table here. Not everyone can go to the street. Not possible. If you can't distribute, at least sponsor the books. What's the problem? You will still get the bliss. Somehow or other, we need to do this. Because I remember Navin Narada Prabhu was here in 2013. I remember he was doing a seminar here. First question he asked, so who is a Sankirtan devotee here? I put the hand up, I think, confidently. And there is one half hand that came up. Then he looked at everyone else. He says, how many of you are ISKCON devotees here? Then everyone put the hand. That means there are those many Sankirtan devotees also. Because ISKCON is a Sankirtan movement. But we think we perfectly outsource. That's for others. Temple cleaning, we outsource to other devotees. Picking up the plates in restaurant, we leave it to outside devotees. Moving rubbish, we leave it to outside devotees. Everything we outsource. Mercy alone, we get it. How will it work? It won't work like that. The more we extend ourselves to do things beyond our call of duty. Remember, we are doing Raganuga Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti means based on rules and regulations. Here we are not even following rules and regulations. That's the problem. Keeping temple clean. We sing in the Mangalarati that spiritual master, he becomes very pleased to see the disciples engaging in deity worship. Mandira Marjanardo, we also sing. If you read the verses that describe about the qualities of Ambarish Maharaj, how he engaged each one of his limbs in the service of the Lord. So if we take that collective responsibility to take ownership, to engage in this service, to pinch ourselves and ask this question, do we really deserve to be in this place? Do we really deserve to be able to do service for Radha Gopinath? That's the proper mood. To the level we have appreciation, to that level we'll have ecstasy coming to us. To the extent we take it lightly, to that extent happiness will remain elusive. To that extent, bhakti will be very ordinary. Okay, we'll discuss more next week. Any questions? Yes.
So you said Hanuman encouraged Mother Sita. What did this elaborate? What is it?
So when Hanuman goes to Ashoka Vatika, the place where Mother Sita was kept imprisoned, initially Hanuman, he witnesses Ravana coming there. In fact, at that attempt, he even attempts to kill. And at that time, his Ravana's wife Mandodari, he catches him and he's saying, this is not befitting a Kshatriya. You should never harm a woman. And then he goes. Hanuman notices from here far, Hanuman is all too well about the disguising skill of Ravana. In fact, that's how he comes when he asks for Bhiksha to Mother Sita. So Hanuman thinks, if I go in this form, Mother Sita may think, I am Ravana in disguise. You see how much he is thinking. So then he says, so if I go, she may raise her voice and then it will alert other people. So I need to first win the trust of Mother Sita. So he starts to glorify Lord Ram. That's the Sundarakanda section. Glorifies about the beauty, glorifies about the chivalrous nature, merciful nature of Lord Ram. So Sita Devi at that time, she was actually contemplating committing suicide. Because Ravana has just come, threatened, and Sita Devi is like, no, I've been here for so many months, still no news, what's the point? So then to rejuvenate her, to bring hope to her, he starts to recite about glories of Lord Ram. And then she asks, who is it? And then Hanuman slowly comes, introduces himself, and then he conveys the message, gives the token, jewelry, to win the trust of Mother Sita. So by the time, and then Hanuman also tells Mother Sita, Lord Ram, he is feeling so much pangs of separation from you. Even his jewelry, which at one point he used to wear as a ring, it's become like his bracelet, like that he says. That's how thin he has become. So then Mother Sita feels very happy because my husband is staying, of course, eternal consort. But she feels, I'm feeling pangs of separation, Supreme Lord is also feeling pangs of separation, like that. You will see Hanuman is also, Lord Ram is also having similar kind of mood. Finally, after winning the war with Ravan, he asks Hanuman, you go and break the news that I'm returning back to Ayodhya, to Bharat. But if you see any tinge of concern in his face, come and let me know. Then I'll never return back to Ayodhya. Why? Because he's already king there. I don't want to go and disturb him. Lord Ram is very sensitive. Okay, so, and then when Hanuman actually breaks open the news, Bharat becomes so jubilant. He embraces Hanuman, you will see. And then Hanuman comes and tells to Lord Ram, you are his life and soul. He is just barely keeping his body together, soul and body together like that. So here in this instance, Hanumanji, by speaking about Lord Ram, telling about the arrangements, how Hanuman has actually gathered such a huge army. Not one, not two, 10 to the power 65 monkeys. So many monkeys he has. And I'm just one. And then to bring hope, he then expanded, enlarged his size, and then he caused havoc. simultaneously instilling fear in the heart of Ravana, telling to Ravana, see, there are 10 to power 65 monkeys. I'm just one of them. Look at the damage I did. I already killed your son. He kills Akshay Kumar also. He kills so many people there, thousands of soldiers. And so simultaneously he instills fear in the heart of Ravan, but then he's bringing hope in the heart of Mother Sita. So that's what's given here. And then later on when he comes to Lord Ram, and then it is said that like when he's flying, at that time he was actually saying, rather than saying, I saw Sita, he says, saw Sita I, like that he says. Or found Sita I, like that. So Hanuman is also very sensitive, sensible. Because he thinks, if I say I found Sita, if I say I, Lord Ram may actually be in so much anxiety until I finish the sentence. Because the sentence can be finished, I didn't find Sita also. So simply by saying I will increase the anxiety of Lord Ram and he may quit the body. Like that he thinks. And if he thinks if I say Sita first, then your sentence can be Sita not found. Sita lost. Then Hanuman says, no, I want to say like that. So then he switches Sanskrit grammar. He says, hell with grammar. He just says, found Sita I. Because what Lord Ram needs to hear first is, Sita is found. So he says, found first. Then he says, found what? Sita. Then he says, I, like that. So you will see in every instance, Hanuman is so meticulously, so carefully serving Lord Ram. What is the best? Be it right from the time he met Ram and Lakshman, be it at the time when he made arrangements for Lakshman to be shown proper seat, proper respect, and in so many different instances, when he goes, finds Mother Sita, when he goes as a peace envoy also, telling Ravan, see, come and surrender to Lord Ram. And to the time when he jumps to Himalayas bringing the herbs, plus also assisting Lord Ramachandra even after the disappearance of Mother Sita. So when it is said that he served Lord Ram for 11,000, 13,000 years, mind you, this is after the disappearance of Sita, Mother Sita. Okay, he was Lord Ram's right hand and he was serving him day in and day out. So that's the description that's given here. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Shri Shri Gauranitai ki jai, Samaveda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath's devotees ki jai. Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.